The Norwegian Fjords are a place where folktales, magic, and natural beauty converge to create a unique and exciting experience for anyone lucky enough to venture there. We absolutely love being in these awe-inspiring places, and we can comfortably say that they are in our top 5 favorite places to visit on the planet. We visited the beautiful little village of Flam last year when we ventured up from Oslo into the Fjord. You can check out these videos in the links down below. We had such an incredible time there that we just had to visit another one of these wonders of the world. This time we were in the town of Geiranger, located about 130 kilometers north of Flam in the Geiranger Fjord. Though it's small, Geiranger is actually the 3rd busiest cruise port in all of Norway, hosting between 140 and 180 ships each year, which bring with them numbers as high as 400,000 passengers. Needless to say, tourism is this little burg's biggest import. Today we were going to be some of these tourists. We had just arrived on the Norwegian Prima, and we were traveling around Norway and Iceland. Be sure to check out those videos in the links down below as well. The first thing we noticed here was the large pontoon jetty that served as a dock. This was added to help the very large ships dock here without needing tender boats, just adding to the accessibility of this place for tourists. We disembarked and made our way down the little road that leads into the town, passing by shops and restaurants on the way. There really is only just this road here, and it leads right to the parking lot where all the buses are waiting to take people on their excursions. It was here that we saw the station for the rib boats. Small, high-speed boats that cruise around the fjord and take passengers on sightseeing expeditions. For a couple $100, they can take you on an hour ride around the fjord. We continued walking around this little town, finding a fish cake shop that we knew we would have to stop at later. Catherine also just had to do some shopping. There's definitely no shortage of that here. Shopping.
Just a little bit.
Of course. And there's a whole troll wall here, in case you were wondering. Of course we remembered the trolls for sale in other places in Norway. They are everywhere here. We walked past the parking lot to check out more of the town before getting on our bus. We found a rather large campground. These fjords are an extremely popular destination for families on vacation driving their caravans around Norway. It's astounding to think that places like this were once completely inaccessible except by boat, and it wasn't too long ago either. Now, there are mountain passes and tunnels that connect nearly every little place in these fjords. It's quite a feat of engineering. This really is a charming little place. There's so many little shops and cafes and things. But now we're on our way to our tour up the mountain. We made our way to the parking lot where all of the buses were parked. This is a mere 5-minute walk from the cruise ship, so it was very convenient. The bus itself was nice and new, and we were thankful given that we would be taking it up many winding mountain roads all the way to the top. We were taking this tour with Norway Excursions, a tour company located throughout Norway. We booked with them because we were able to get a pretty good deal for the tour that goes to a few different viewpoints and then all the way up Dalsnibba Mountain. We'll tell you the exact price we paid and whether we thought it was worth it at the end of this video. We rode for about 20 minutes out of the port, up winding paths until we reached our first stop, a lookout point where we could see all the way up and down the fjord. Here we found an enormous platform that actually hung out over the fjord, reminding us a lot of the Stegerstein in Flam. The views here were incredible, and we were stunned by just how inspiring these vistas were, even though we'd already seen them. Each time you gaze out over the fjord, it's like you're seeing it for the first time. None of it seems real. It's an absolute treat to witness all of this natural beauty, and looking at it through a camera just doesn't do it justice. We're up here at our first stop, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. We could see the Seven Sisters waterfall, and it's just beautiful up here. We love these lookouts up in the fjords. Reminds us a lot of Flam, huh?
Oh, so much like Flam.
Yeah, up on the Stegerstein Viewpoint.
Yeah.
It's kind of the exact same thing. Just a view around the bend of the fjord. We looked around this viewpoint after breaking out of our trance and found some hiking trails. These trails go up to the crest of the fjord and follow it for quite a ways. However, it's a very rugged trail, and we didn't have nearly enough time to take in this stop fully. Eventually, we had to get back on the bus and head the other way in the fjord to the peak of the mountain that overlooks Geiranger, Dalsnibba. On the way to Dalsnibba Mountain, our guide told us about the history of this place. She even told us about the impending threat of a tsunami wave that's forever looming over Geiranger. Apparently there's a mountain located further up the fjord that has been slowly splitting due to the freeze-thaw action that this region experiences. Eventually, the side of the mountain will give way and cause a landslide into the fjord, creating a huge tsunami that will be about 70 meters high by the time it reaches Geiranger. In fact, the situation is so serious that the government has set up monitoring equipment on the mountain, and even installed warning systems, including tsunami sirens, in the area. They even made a movie about it. Luckily, there were no tsunamis today, and experts say that there really isn't any immediate danger to tourists either. After traveling back through Geiranger, we headed up the mountain, stopping at the Fjords viewpoint on the way. Here, we trekked out onto some rocks and got some amazing views of the fjord and our ship down below. It was hard to believe that we were still less than halfway up the mountain. We're really liking the views and the tour so far. It's been great.
Yeah, tour guide is really nice.
Yeah, it's been great. Our bus continued its journey up to the peak. Here we saw some really cool mountain farms, including these old summer houses that were used by farmers when they were grazing their sheep during the hot summers long ago. We rounded the corner and found ourselves looking at a pristine glacial lake. In this part of the mountain, we were high enough to see where the vegetation stopped growing. We were surrounded only by little bits of moss and snow. It was such an alien landscape, and it was really awe-inspiring to see. The deep blue and aqua of the water, contrasted against the gray mountainside, was breathtaking. It felt like we were traveling through a postcard. Our bus stopped here for a bit, and we decided to get a closer look at the lake. At this altitude, you can actually see a few glaciers that are forming on top of the mountains. The meltwater from these glaciers spends all summer flowing down the mountains, into these glacial lakes, and eventually finding their way into streams and into the waters of the fjord below. From the lake, it was only about 10 more minutes until we traveled the remaining distance to the peak of Dalsnibba Mountain. Here, we were 1,500 meters above sea level, nearly 5,000 feet. Considering we could see all the way down to Geiranger, it was pretty spectacular. There were tons of views here in every direction, and we were pretty much free to roam wherever we wanted on top of the mountain. We did have to put our jackets on, though. Even though it was the mid-70s down by the boat, it was about 45 degrees up here. You a little bit cold?
A little chilly up here.
No, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
There's our ship. Just a little guy. Yeah. From this natural platform and viewpoint, we could see all the way down into the fjord. We could also look backwards and see the nearby mountains. It was just amazing that we were able to see all this. From up here, looking outward, you can see the tops of mountains for probably 100 miles. With these views, it felt like we were peering over the top of a fence, finally able to see to the other side. Just moments ago, we were closed in on every side by the fjord. Now it seemed like we were standing on top of the world. Oh, the views up here are absolutely amazing. We're so glad that we did this tour.
Yeah.
We're on top of Mount Dalsnibba right now, and it's crazy. We're 1,500 meters above sea level, which is 4,500, almost 5,000 feet, and it's crazy. The roads getting up here, hairpin turns everywhere, beautiful glacial lakes. We can even see glaciers on the side of a mountain. So yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so glad we did this. So glad it's a clear day, because apparently this morning it was all cloudy and they couldn't see anything. But yeah.
Very happy with this.
Up on Dalsnibba Mountain, there's also a fairly sizable tourist office with a shop and restaurant. We didn't spend too much time here, but we did find that the prices in this place were actually cheaper than down in Geiranger for the same items, so we bought a few gifts for friends and family. Eventually, it was time to descend from the mountain. We traveled past the lake and back down into Geiranger. So how much did we pay for this tour? We booked on the Norway Excursion's website and found tickets for about $75 per person. Since then, they've raised their rates a bit, but you can still find tickets for 82 euros per person, or $87. This is about $20 cheaper than the exact same tour cost on TripAdvisor or Viator, so we would recommend to book direct unless you can find a better deal or a discount. If you're going with a cruise line, be sure to check your departure time to see if there's actually a risk of missing the ship. For us, we weren't leaving until about midnight. Since our tour was at 1 p.m., there was virtually no way we would ever miss our ship, so it made no sense to pay nearly $300 more to book with the cruise line. If you're coming on a cruise, definitely check out booking direct and compare it to the cruise line prices. This experience was great, but once we returned to Geiranger, we had some unfinished business to attend to at the fish cake shop. Yeah, so we're gonna try some fish cakes.
Yeah.
We just ran into this place and it was only basically little less than €5 a piece, so we got 2 fish cakes.
Yeah.
We're gonna try them.
Yeah.
All right, we got our cakes. We probably could have only gotten one, to be honest, just to try it, but Gavin's gonna try it now. They're very hot. How is it?
Really good.
Is it good? Is it just
Yeah.
fish or what's in it? What's
Fish,
all?
and I think there's like some breading and some herbs and everything.
Yeah, it's like a battered piece of fish.
Very
Kinda
good.
thing.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, it's really like light and fluffy. It's really good. Those are really good. I'm glad we got those.
Very satisfying.
Yeah, but now I think we've done pretty much all we wanted to do here. So yeah, let's get back on the ship.
Yeah.
We hope that you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed our time in Geiranger. We absolutely love the Norwegian fjords. They offer natural beauty and hospitality that's unheard of in most parts of the world. We can strongly recommend going to Geiranger on your next Norwegian holiday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.